Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna see also after Bitcoin some altcoins. For today, we're gonna see Solana, Tau, AI16, and virtuals as well. To see what's going on a little bit and get an overall view. Yesterday we did, of course, such a format was as a video, and I think many of you likes it actually, and even I see also that it is really nice because it show us a better view even by comparison for many altcoins and with Bitcoin as well at the same time, to see some confluence and see what it might happen. So let's start with Bitcoin today. As you can see, we see a lot of red, and it is very, of course, understandable due to the situation that we know. Of course, it was the global tension right now going on in the Middle East. So we see some red here, and basically, but we did not yet left this triangle. And I would say that yeah, it's working perfectly with our scenario where we have, of course, potentially an A, B, C, D, and an E before moving toward the upside. So it is very normal to see, of course, this zigzag for a wave C currently. And don't forget also, in case that we break, of course, this level, which it might be the invalidation of the triangle here, taken, of course, from this low exactly, that might be, of course, invalidation of a triangle. And by all means, if we invalidate the triangle, it doesn't mean bearish yet, of course, at the 100K 300, but it means that you might have another scenario here, which it might be, of course, an A, B, and a C as a zigzag, and then moving it toward the upside, probably, of course, for a wave 5, or for a wave B in expanding flat. So, of course, don't forget that we might be in an expanding flat on a bigger overview on, let's say, on the 4 hours chart here. If we take, of course, this is as a wave A, the correction that we are looking at exactly here as a wave A. We have a wave B towards the upside. We would like to see, of course, one more wave towards the upside, hitting, of course, those targets, the perfect fib levels for a wave B in an expanding flat, and then moving toward the downside. So basically, I would say in Bitcoin, despite the red that we are looking at, of course, this is very understandable again for the situation that we are into it right now. So don't be scared, don't be afraid. Nothing yet is very bearish. As I mentioned, here we have 5 waves for a wave 1 potentially in case we are bearish. But don't forget that the wave 2 took the 886 here, which reduced so much the possibility. I'm going to zoom in again. So this wave 1, wave 2 took the 886, reduced so much the possibility. And additional proof that we are not bearish yet is, of course, as this leg here where you have 3 waves anyway starting here. There is no impulse. Second thing is that you, after this correction, let's say it is wave 2, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and it's done. You don't have a major wave 4 and a 5. Your wave 4 got the invalidation, took the wave 1, meaning we are not bearish yet. If we take a look at the volume, of course, the volume is a very interesting, showing a lot of volatility inside this triangle, but it is also very understandable. And of course, you see that the volume, anyway, in a bigger view, is reducing slowly, right? Moving towards the downside slowly. And that means, of course, that this correction might be finishing, of course, in triangle very soon and then moving toward the upside. Now, it can be, of course, in an ABC, getting even much higher volume, finishing this correction and moving, of course, for higher later on. So this is also very possible. I would say in general for Bitcoin, I'm still looking for higher. Of course, we still corrective. Whatever we get, of course, as a low, if we're going to take the low here, I think we are still very corrective. There is no evidence that we are bearish. And of course, the scenarios for bearish are already invalidated, guys. So I cannot be bearish at all here. Yes, okay, let's take a look as well at other altcoins here. We have Solana for today. So for Solana, you can see, of course, that we have an impulse toward the upside. Our bull run as a wave 1. This is what we are looking for here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We have a wave 5 finish already there, and we can see that exactly from the volume, right? You can see the high amount of volume in your wave 3 here, and then of course a lower amount of volume in your wave 5. Okay, and that means of course this is the end of the wave 5. You finish wave 1, and after this we start to see of course an impulse toward the downside. In this impulse, we are looking here at 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 impulse, finishing potentially wave A. After this wave A, we got, of course, a correction A, B, and a C toward the upside, which finishing here a wave B. And currently, we are looking, of course, for a wave C, which it might be in this case scenario a diagonal ending a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Why? Because we have simply a zigzag here. If we zoom in again, you can see that, of course, we have a very high amount of volume in your wave 1. The highest amount of volume currently is in your wave 1, which it should be in a diagonal. You have a zigzag, 3 ways toward the downside. Very obviously, impulse, correction, impulse internally, and you have correction, and currently you continue impulsively for a wave 3, but the volume is still, of course, moving lower and lower, which is, of course, a diagonal. Is gonna finish up, of course, slowly, and it's gonna, of course, end up somehow in this blue box in confluence with the one-to-one fib level taken from the wave A to the wave B to give us, of course, a wave C, exactly, of course, at the one-to-one fib level 127, which is perfectly gonna finish between the 0.618 and the zero point 0.5 fib level. And even if it gets extended a little bit, that is not a problem. Of course, we can still hit the 0.618 even in a diagonal here. Very easily can be hit. Yeah, so I would say Solana is very secured. I mean, we're still even hanging on exactly at the 0.38. Everything is fine. So whatever low we get, it's fine. Even if we move impulsive for a wave C here, it is also fine. But of course, I don't see an impulse, and that because of the zigzag starting here, which is of course, yeah, reducing the possibility so much. Of course. Yep. So this for Solana. I'm not scared of for Solana. I don't feel like it's so bad. I mean, it has a lot of gap for this correction in a wave two. Still very comfortable to move down, and it can of course move for higher. Now there are some altcoins that are already in the low here, which a little bit, of course, makes me worry a little bit. We're gonna see it. Of course, one of them is AI 16. Before moving to AI 16, we're gonna see Tau as well. Tau is almost like Solana, so it is very nice to see those two working together with the same pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse toward the upside. Currently, you have a potential ABC, but expanding flat. It's a little bit different but than Solana. While Solana, you might have a zigzag, in Tau, you have an expanding flat as an A, B, and a C. You have probably here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You can end it up, of course, as an ending diagonal as well for a wave C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can count all of this as a wave A. You got a wave B, and now with this small impulse, you start a wave 1, 2, and you are on the way for a wave 3, 4, and a 5 towards the downside as an impulse. Meaning Tau, of course, can, of course, open the way for an impulse even, and surpassing the one-to-one fib level, taken here from the A to the B to the C. And I would say that it can be very impulsive, and it has a lot of gaps, of course, even to reach the perfect or golden box for a wave 2. Therefore, yeah, you can expect even an impulse can unfold for Tau here, because Tau you did not even took the 0.38 even. So still very, very comfortable, I would say, for wave 2. I'm not scared about it. What makes me worry a little bit is, of course, AI 16. AI 16 is already in the golden box, right? In this blue zone. And now we are facing, of course, some sell pressure. And yeah, I'm wondering what AI 16 is going to do. In this case, would it invalidate this impulse? This very beautiful, obviously, it's an impulse, right? So there is no doubt in it. Even each wave, it is looking very nice, impulsive. Wave one, we have correction, we have a nice impulsive wave three, and finally correction and nice impulsive wave five. So there is no perfection more than this, I would say. But yeah, what is going on there, right? This is a question mark. Now, I'm still, of course, I'm still okay because I still have this scenario where you can have also an ending diagonal. Here we go. Your ending diagonal starts, of course, with a massive wave 1, where you have an A, B, and a C toward the downside. Your wave C starts with this zigzag as a wave 1, wave 2 correction, wave 3, which I doubt it because, of course, it looks like an impulse, 4 and a 5. Now, starting a wave 1 with a zigzag, your wave 3 looks a little bit, of course, as an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, unless internally inside this wave you can count, of course, different impulses, meaning like this is an impulse as a wave A, B, and a C toward the downside, but we have to get inside it so much. But yeah, it can be, probably here is not really very clear, and I cannot really reach everything on the laptop very comfortably here, since I am in a holiday, guys. I have my laptop and I'm not on my workstation. So yeah, I mean, even here on the 1 hour chart, yeah, it doesn't looks for me as even a perfect impulse, but yeah, it looks there is something wrong with it here. I would say, like, if this is your wave one, two, and you have wave three very short, wave four interfered, right? So this is the first possibility is out. Therefore, you have to count one, two, one, two, and then you have three, four, five. What is your second four and a five? And that's why I think that something is different here, and you can count this probably like a diagonal wave A, wave B, and all of this is just one impulse, wave C. Meaning, by all means, you can count this as a zigzag. And when you count it as a zigzag, it works perfectly with a wave 1 as, of course, ending diagonal. And therefore, in your wave 5 here, you would like also to see, of course, a zigzag, right, for wave 5. And I think that AI 16 will, of course, test the 0.786. I would say yes, this is very low, but yeah, it's gonna play the risky game here. But I think it is very already very low, and I think if it's will take, of course, the 0.786, it could be, of course, a nice opportunity to move toward the upside. After all, we're gonna see, guys, if we break this and we hit the 886, okay, the things start to be shaky here. But don't forget that you might still have, of course, possibility of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as, of course, diagonal, leading diagonal if we took the 886. So never give up. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying, until we take the low total invalidation for any bullish scenario. Therefore, of course, we speak about another or different scenario here that it might unfold, which is, of course, the invalidation of an impulse. Sadly, would be right. So hopefully not, guys. Yeah, let's take a virtual, which is our last altcoin here. So virtual, I would say that is no other coin which is very comfortable with the price action, rather than virtual. It looks like very far even from the 0.38. So I believe virtuals need an impulse toward the downside, guys. Even I cannot, yeah, I mean, it can be, of course, a diagonal, but I think with this drop, you need kind of like an impulse. So I believe that this might turns, of course, into 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 somehow as an impulse to finish an A, B, and a C expanding flat over there. Of course, virtuals is also in a very nice, beautiful impulse, wave 1 or wave A, meaning in both case scenario you would like to see higher prices. It is very comfortable. It's not scary at all. It has a lot of gaps here, so our bull run is very safe, I would say, in virtual. Same for Solana, same for Tau. The only problematic coin here that we have is a I-16, but maybe it's gonna hold on in this area very strongly, I believe. And we're gonna see, of course, since we have already very high amount of volume in the low. Yeah, so that means we are very close to finish this wave two. Now it might range a little bit, taking time that all other altcoins reach their targets and then moving toward the upside. In general, guys, Bitcoin also still looking corrective and still looking for higher. And that means, of course, the altcoins will be in confluence sooner or later. I don't see, of course, any bearish scenario here. And I don't see even like invalidation for the bull run for the altcoins as well. I think Bitcoin can, if it takes the low, one more low, it can move toward the upside in confluence. The altcoins will finishes their wave two and also move towards the upside at the same time. That was it, our analysis for today for the Bitcoin and the altcoins. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.